Hello, welcome back to a TNT Run video. Today I'm going to talk about a more mature way to approach things in life. And I mean, that's a pretty interesting thing for me to talk about, because you can go back to my old videos and see how immature I was. But as I always like to say, I like to keep all my videos up so you can see how I've changed, so you can see how I've matured, of course, and so you can see how my content has changed. Like, you know, obviously this is a much better video than what I would have made back in the day, but also there were some cool edits I used to do. There's not, I mean, I'm not too fond of that anymore. I kind of like, you know, just commentary. Like, you know, I just kind of have something in mind, or I just come up with something just before recording, and, you know, I think about it for a moment, and then, you know, I just start recording, playing TNT Run, and then I talk about it. I really enjoy this style the most, not because it takes less work, but because it makes me feel fulfilled after recording it, and then, you know, editing it and rendering it. You know, and speaking of which, I have a folder of 5 videos right now, so I should probably do those soon. I'm going to do them at least before school starts, because it's good to be prepared for when school starts. In that respect, because, you know, it's going to start, and then my mindset's going to be completely off of anything else, off of YouTube. Hopefully I don't stop working out, though, because, you know, that's something that's very important to me lifestyle wise right now. You know, I'm trying to gain weight, but I'm trying to gain muscle weight. I'm not trying to gain fat weight, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to gain fat. It's not like I'm skinny. I have a good opportunity to make myself look really good here, right? Why would I just mess it right up? Like, it doesn't seem like a very good idea. I mean, I think people think I look pretty good anyways. That silly Filipino girl at work liked me, but besides the point. Now she's ignoring me because I think I offended her. I basically said I wasn't really looking for the same thing that she was, and, you know, I feel bad, but also it's like, there's my weakness. Should have mentioned that in the last video. What the heck? That was literally, like, I'm recording this right after the last video, so, I mean, I really see my stupidity right here, because I should have brought that up, because that is a personal weakness. You know, I used my best friend, who's a girl, as an excuse for not dating the Filipino girl. Like, that's, you know, that's something I should not have done. Because that makes it seem like I'd only date my best friend, and that's definitely not true. And, I mean, would I date my best friend? Probably at some point in the future I would be willing to, yes. But I wouldn't exclusively hold that to just my best friend. You know, I think that makes sense, right? You know, and I mean, I guess to take a good, mature approach to my best friend. I mean, we talk almost every day, right? But I'd say I need her in my life, but I'm not dependent on her in my life. You see the distinction I'm making here? Because you need friendship, you need other people. It's just common, like, it's just human characteristics, right? But you should not be dependent on someone else in any way. You never should. I'm not saying you should be completely independent. I think independence is actually overvalued in our culture. Now, I think kids should be raised to be independent, of course, but I don't agree that that independence should be held above all else in the world. In like, just in society, because, you know, everybody has their own unique role in this life. I know, talk like a Christian here. I saw a notification on my phone and I looked over at it. I don't know why. That's a horrible idea in TNT Run, but, you know, I should actually turn on a webcam someday in the future. I think I might do that. Like, if I got like 10k subs, that's something I would start doing. But I also don't get very many views on these videos either. So it's like my channel's not actually any bigger than it used to be. You know? Like, maybe when the Mega Walls videos are all out, and I'm only uploading these TNT Run videos, that I think by the time this video is out, there will be no more Mega Walls. You know, that maybe they'd get more views, because that would be the only video I'm releasing throughout the week. You know, I'm sure some people see it in their box and they just don't feel like clicking on it because, well, you know, he's going to upload other videos so I can see other videos. Well, now this is the only video, so what the heck am I doing? I'm going to run out of double jumps because I'm horrible at the game. But, you know, okay, but being more mature about things isn't just about being desperate. Like, being less desperate. I mean, that's obviously an important trait that we all need to do, because what am I doing? We all need to be less desperate. A lot of us get very desperate. You know, desperate, dependence, they kind of sit in the same basket here. Needing and dependence don't. That's, you know, because we all need a companion. That's my point here. But, you know, that's kind of an explanation for another video. That's not really talking too much about maturity explicitly. Like, I'm just talking about it well, it also has to do a lot with my mental journey, which I talked about probably like 2 months ago now. I think it was close to 2 months, maybe 3 months ago. And, you know, there's a lot to do with how I've changed. Like, I've kind of re-sheltered myself and kind of restored a little bit of innocence, and I've stopped looking at things that are ruining that. I don't know why I just jumped down there. That was kind of a waste. But, you know, if you know what I mean, right? Like, I don't find dirty jokes funny anymore. I might find dark humor funny, but not always. The type of humor I find funny is just kind of being stupid, you know? Like, hey, we should put this V8 engine from our vehicle inside of our boat and see how it's gonna work. That's pretty funny. And don't you agree that's funny? You know, that's the type of thing that I'm saying I find funny. Maybe I'm weird, but, you know, I don't know. It's just, you know, you need to appreciate the smaller things in life, and then life all of a sudden becomes a lot better. Because everything in your life matters now, rather than just, you know, whatever extreme pleases you. Because we're all consumers in this society, and we all are meant to just buy more and more things. That's literally how we're viewed by elites and by business owners, and, you know, we're all just consumers. We need to get the consumers in here to buy our goods, right? Our goods sounds like drugs. Or buy our products. No, I find it funny that stores call, like, produce and meat products, but I mean, it really all does boil down to that. I don't like that customers are viewed that way, because it just kind of seems, you know, a bit robotic. I don't know. Not robotic, just it's hard to describe. Just in a very specific, certain way. Like, I thought that was the slowness pot. Yeah, I'll just get rid of them so I can't splash myself. Imagine if I did by accident there, that would have made me so mad. I knew I could make that jump. That double jump should have worked. Okay. We're good. Like, I think it's just good to be mature in general. I swear, there are only 2 maps in this game right now. But, you know, you can laugh at things and you can be a kid, but it's also like, people don't hold your opinion as strongly if you're less mature, necessarily. Unless if they like you. Of course, right? But, yeah. Those pots probably just destroyed those people. I swear, like, there needs to be more maps in this game, or they just need to fix map rotation. Because it really shouldn't be like this. Maybe it's because there's a certain amount of players playing, but I don't think so. Because there's like 271 people playing TNT Run right now, and when there's 120, it's like the same. So, you know, it's weird. Like, by maturity, I mean also what you do with your time. Like, if you just go to school and you go home and just play video games, and that's your whole life, then, that can show some sort of immaturity, because if you're mature, usually you have something that is more meaningful to you to do with your time than just, like, I'm not saying video games are bad. I'm saying they're bad if you play them excessively. You know, that's why my channel's now coming down to this moderate one series instead of all of these series apostrophe. Because that's what's reasonable for me to do. with the time that I have available for it. You know, and I just think it's reasonable to keep my channel going after all this time, because, you know, it makes me feel so much better to talk about these things, and just to, you know, especially if I get a comment on any TNT Run video, like any comment, it makes me feel really good. I don't care if it's hate, because, you know, in one way or another, I help somebody at least think. If they hate what I have to say, then I guess they hate what I have to say, but, you know, it's also like, there's still, you know, you're still gaining something by being challenged. Even if you hate it, right? And that's another thing about being mature, is you need to know when not to speak, even if you disagree with something. You're not being inauthentic to yourself until you start conforming to that view. You know, like, usually my response is a little bit too far, and I'll say, I will not conform to that opinion. I will not conform to that worldview. You know, something like that. And that's a bit different. Because then I'm taking a bit more of a judgmental approach, I guess. It's probably something my mom would say, which I hate when my mom says things like that. You know, case in point here in this commentary. But, hey, it's, you know, that's just life, I guess. What the heck? I like kind of flew there. That's weird. You know, I also need to get 500 wins in this game, because then I can have that 11th double jump, and then I can look pretty cool. You know, I'm sure I'll get it eventually, but, like, well, I'm not, because if I'll get, like, 30 wins for, you know, 4 videos, right? Something like that. You know, and 4 videos is already, like, basically a month, and I won't play any extra, really, other than what I need to do to record, because I'm already kind of good at this game, so, you know, and I'm not here to be the best with gameplay as much as I'm the best with commentary. That's what I want. That's what I'm shooting for. You know, it's like that. You know, like, as you've grown up, what do you see? Like, do you look back on yourself before? Like, either on how you viewed other people, yeah, going right there, just right there, or like how you did something or did things. Like, do you ever look at that? I just kind of like laugh at yourself. You know, I can look back at how I did my videos and what my intentions were when I started my channel. You know, like, really, I went from wanting to be a 30,000 sub YouTube rank to now just wanting to be able to get my thoughts out of my head. And you know what? Now that I am doing that, I've gained subscribers. I've gained a lot of subscribers. So it's like you actually do what's authentic to you, and what's honest, and what's good, what's actually like good content, because you're being true to yourself. So it's not fake. That's what my point is. So if you're doing that, then people actually recognize that, and they really appreciate that. And I think that works generally in life too. Now, when I put social media label on it, I don't think it's good, because I don't have any social media sites other than YouTube. And YouTube, I'm not my real name. I'm not my actual self, if that makes any sense. You know, it's not like having an Instagram account that's my name and all my school friends have it. No, it's not like that at all, because I'm secret. I'm of a different identity. I'm Headless Horseman, right? I'm Brother's Trouble, right? As you can see on the top of tab. So it's not the same as having that, but I guess it's similar. You know, like, I always try to be as honest with people as I can, and it usually gets me a long way, because they appreciate that, they respect that, and they're usually the same in return, right? And I really appreciate that. But yeah, so it's complicated stuff, right? Because you need to be honest, and that's part of being mature. If you're honest about everything, you're being mature. If you're lying, you're being immature. You're stretching the truth. You need to be realistic to everybody. Like, you know, and that's kind of like how the real world works and how good relationships work. You know, that's why people are typically good friends with people who are in the same class as them. Like economic class, or political class, or even ethnicity, for that reason. Because, you know, you're better friends with people you can be honest with, who you're similar to, and, you know, look like you, you know, and you can be honest with, right? It's a matter of that. What the? Okay, that was pretty sad. Anyways, like, that's the reason why I'm more likely to marry a white woman than anyone else because I'm white, right? But it's also like why I'm going to marry a Lutheran Christian over anyone else. That's not just because I'm only willing to marry a Lutheran Christian. That's me. Like, I won't even date the Filipino girl because she's not even a Christian. She was a Christian. She shared some common beliefs, then perhaps you could make some case for it. But since she's not, I can't even make any case to it. But it's, you know, like, it's just that, really. It's like, it's not just about being able to relate to somebody, but it's also like, if you don't have the same religion as me, you're not the same ethnicity as me. Well, not ethnicity so much as it is religion. Like, if you're not of the same theological background as me, you can't care about me in every single way that I need to be cared for. Because we all need spiritual nourishment. It's part of life, to maintain faith in Christ, and to go on to everlasting life. That's how Christians would see that. So I think if you're a Christian of the same background as me, that's why you're good for me. Either as a friend or as something more in the future. Right? Does that make sense? Now, if you're of a different background, you can't care for me there, either because you don't understand it, or you're just not that. You know, you're different than that. You might even be hostile to that view, right? And it's whatever, but in that case, you're dangerous to my own integrity, because people do change each other. You know, and it's also like, parents do have an influence on kids. If you're raised in a Christian home, you're more likely to be Christian than if you weren't raised in a Christian home, right? Now, people, like, it depends, because some people become rebellious, right? You know, there's things like that too. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and you can always give me topic suggestions too. I always forget to mention that, but you can. You for sure can. That would be much appreciated, because, you know, there's always things I don't want to talk about, but I mean, it's good to be in touch with who's watching as well and what they're interested in. That's important to me. You know, as a YouTuber, and as a small YouTuber specifically, because, you know, there's only a few of you in this case. There probably should be dozens of you when I'm this channel size, but because I just kind of gained subs from going viral in a couple of videos, that's kind of how it works out, but it's whatever, right? So always feel free to comment anything that you would like to be done. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you again in the future. Bye.